The old man, looking around absent-mindedly, shrinks away as you get closer. His head seems to shake uncontrollably, but his hands are surprisingly deft and assured as they level a magical wand at you. Stay back! Which are you, robber or demon? Hey, take it easy, Graham. So that's the way it is, huh? You see horns, you think thief or demon? Quit scaring the old man, dummy. Have you seen your horns? How should I put this? Don't exactly inspire trust in a city that's currently overrun with demons. I have a problem with this. I do. I get what Seal is saying, but the fact that she keeps calling him dummy is just, I don't know, it grates. It does. It absolutely grates. And I know Woljif can stand up for himself, and if he wanted help, he'd find a way to let us know. But still, it's just, you know, come on, Seela. I'm not gonna hurt you. The old man goggles at you in terror. He doesn't lower his, but he doesn't lower his wand. A rustling comes from somewhere behind him. Rats? The old man wheels around fearfully and peers in the direction the sound came from. The hand holding the wand gradually falls to his side. When he turns back to you, there's no fear in his expression, only vague confusion. I'm sorry, I was distracted. What were we talking about? Who are you? The old man lowers his wand in confusion. I think his expression grows distraught and mournful, as though he's on the verge of crying. I forget. His gaze falls on a piece of cloth carefully stitched to his cloak, which he reads. Teldon, Tower of Estrad Museum Custodian. Aha! I'm Teldon, the custodian here. My memory isn't what it once was. My faculties are failing me. But at one time, my mind could cut like diamond, and I was a battle mage, one of the few who survived the Battle of the Lost Chapel. But I'm an old man now. Sometimes I set down my keys one moment and the next, I can't remember where I've put them. This is what happens to sorcerers. This old fella must have swapped his memory for spells and lost his marbles as the years went by. Wait, they can do that? I didn't know that. Huh. That, I find Ulbrig's insertion into these really interesting because it's such a fresh perspective on everything, given that he is from 100 years ago. He's seeing it from an entirely different perspective. It'd be like, what happens if somebody from the 1920s was, adventuring with you now, and like all the different perspectives they would have and stuff like that. And it's crazy. It didn't happen because of magic tricks. Ember sadly shakes her head. And I like it here that she's responding to him. He went to war and saw lots of scary things. So scary that his memory ran away, so it would never show him the bad things ever again. You yourself are a mad little witch. That's why you're standing up for another of your sorceress kind. Ulbrig! Like, this is I like, though, that he's not just he's still standing true to what he thinks is right, but I mean, I'm gonna believe Ember on this one. But still, Ulbrig! She's not mad. Well, it's okay. She's a little, but she's not, though. Yep, we do have a lot in common. She smiles blissfully. I've seen scary things, too. Except what he lost was his memory, and I lost something else. I don't know what. It's interesting that Ulbrich didn't have a follow-up to that. But the Ember Ulbrich exchanges, I'm really curious to see, as we go on and as Ulbrich grows as a character, how those changes, how that changes the dynamic between the two. With a pleased smile, the old man pulls a hefty set of keys from his pocket, proudly shows them to you. Here, they are my keys, my little lovelies. I would never give you away to anyone. Remembering himself, the old man hastily stows the keys back in his pocket. The Lost Chapel. This old fellow was there. That his mind was damaged isn't surprising. What's surprising is that the old codger can still speak at all. The entire history of the Crusades, which aren't exactly uplifting, this is one of the bloodiest chapters. Some time ago, I wanted to know what became of the abandoned fortification and estates the Crusaders left behind. I read through the accounts of the Lost Chapel veterans. That was a real bloodbath. What are the keys for? Oh, these keys are for everything. I can open every door in the tower with these. The museum custodian on duty must carry these keys at all time and never be parted from them, not even for a second. And why is that? Because if the keys were left unattended, they'd be pinched by thieves, wouldn't they? Thieves who'd strip the museum of all of its treasures. What are you looking at me for? Woljif exclaims, even though no one is looking at him. I wasn't, Woljif, at all. I see. The old man, I'm not taking his keys from him, by the way. Pats his pocket containing the bunch of keys. We have Woljif. What happened here? The old man burst into agitated muttering, gesticulating furiously with shaking hands. First, the bells started ringing, and then there were noises in the street. Then the dragon, Lady Terendelev, began to roar. I went to lock the door, but they were already inside, the thieves. There were 7 of them, or perhaps 10, I don't remember. They were talking some rubbish about how they were all orphans, supposedly, and that they were dangerous. They grabbed me and wouldn't let me go. And then they looted the place. They took anything with even a lick of gold on it. Relics, too. The museum boasts a very extensive collection, you know. Worst of all, they took the wand. And when they were done, they tossed me aside like a piece of old junk. They didn't even bother to kill me. The custodian looks at you with an affront and anguish in his eyes. What wand? The wand of Zacharias, my master. He was a great man, hero of the defense of the lost chapel, and those scoundrels took his wand. A relic! Ballads are sung about Zacharias, and they're just damned thieves. Master Zacharias will return, and he'll assemble all of us, his students, and we'll show them. I'll show them what battle mage Teldin is made of. Zacharias, I believe we also meet, like, he's also somebody that's important. I find it really interesting that, like, the different important people / Aeon paths and stuff like that, or not Aeon paths, but mythic paths, rather, I apologize. Like, you see the influences of it throughout the first basically like 2 chapters, and it's really well woven into the story. So now you kind of get, so it's also good because if you haven't played before, or like you're on your 2nd or 3rd playthrough and you kind of know but you kind of don't, as you like figure more and more things out, Teldin might change in your eyes a bit, which is interesting. Fury sparks in the old man's eyes. His spine straightens, and in a fluid motion his hands raise his wand at the ready. But a howl of rage from outside frightens off the ghosts of the past. The old man turns around, looks at you befuddled. You were just asking about something. I forget where it was. Will you tell me about Zacharias? He turns misty-eyed. A great hero he was, fearless but insightful. He never underestimated the strength of the demons. When they laid siege to the lost chapel, it was Zacharias who stood in the breach to rescue the clerics. He understood that we couldn't hold out, but he refused to retreat. He had vowed to defend the temple before the final onslaught. He gathered up his surviving apprentices, looked at us over, and picked me. He said, Teldin, today I will die and leave my comrades behind. Take my wand and bring it to Canabras. Should an hour of great need come, a worthy crusader can take the wand and bring it to me. I'll know my brothers need me once more, and I will come to their aid. Not even death shall stop me. And so I brought his wand and his final word here. I also brought something else here. This is why I am the way that I am. He pokes a finger at his bald head. Fear consumed my mind. It shattered my reason. I was so desperate to forget that terrible day that my memory slowly but surely fled my wretched head. That's so sad, though. Like, whatever happened at the Lost Chapel was so brutal, so horrific, that he had, like, his mind had to protect itself by forgetting. And so now his memory isn't what it was just because of trying to scrub it away. That is horrifying to think about. We did the Why Did the Demon Spare You, I think, the last time, and honestly, I don't want, like, I think I've done it once. I don't want to do it again. I just want to let him be, kind of thing, after everything he saw and everything he's trying to go through and process right now. I feel like the last thing we need to do is alert him to the demons. Are you all right? The old man smiles piously and makes a helpless gesture. Old age, my young friend. Old age and the poison of fear seeping into my mind. Both have turned me from a crusader and battle mage into a sorry specimen you see before you. Like, and that's probably gotta be the most gut-wrenching part of Teldin's story overall, or at least as it stands right now, because this man knows. He knows exactly why he is the way that he is. He can't live in blissful ignorance in that he doesn't know why he's lost his memories, or he doesn't even know that, you know what I mean? Like, he doesn't even know that he can't even live, I should say, in the comfort of not knowing that he's lost memories. He knows. He 100% knows that he has lost who he was. He has lost his memories. He can't be the battle mage or the crusader that he used to be. So I can't imagine living with that, but also not having the memories, and then almost like in some ways beating yourself up over the fact that you're not the battle mage or the crusader that you once were, and that your mind is slipping because of the fear that came with what you went through. And then being like cognitive of that Oh man, like every time I read Telden's story or every time I get to this part, this tower mission gets like better and better and better and better to me, mainly because there are so many different layers to the writing and so many different things that are actually horrific in this. But you have to kind of either read through it really, really, really carefully the first time or play it a few different times to peel it away. I love that. Whenever I forget who and where I am, I just read the exhibit labels. They're part of the past, just like me. Now some ruffians have ransacked this place. I'm frightened, my young friend. I'm very frightened. Don't be afraid, the girl whispers. There's nothing to be afraid of. All the scary things have already happened. They're in the past. The old man nods, but he continues his agitated motions. Scary. So scary. Will you tell me about the museum exhibits? He seems to come to life. It would take a lifetime to tell you all there is to know, but I'll take you on a tour of the highlights, some of my personal favorites. You should have a look yourself. You won't regret it. For instance, we have a painting here depicting angels fighting demons. You may find it hard to believe, but the first crusades, many heavenly beings fought shoulder to shoulder with the crusaders. And these two in the painting are Targona and Lariel, the silver twins, as they were called. I actually met them, you know, when I was a young man studying under Master Zacharias. They had no airs or graces about them. They walked among the mortals. They spoke to us. They healed our wounds. Lady Targona I remember especially well. She had a special unearthly wisdom within her. The angel Lariel, on the other hand, was known for his daring, and the youngest crusaders idolized him. I wonder where they are now, the twins. We don't have celestial beings in our ranks anymore. They all left sometime during the Second Crusade, on a very important mission, they say. But I do love looking at this painting and remembering those days when the envoys of heaven walked among us. And the light that seemed to shine from within them. The old man wipes his eyes. What am I saying? You must be a messenger, yes? Or are you a visitor? Why did those times end? Why did the Celestials not fight with us still? Heaven has not abandoned us, surely. Heaven is above us, far, far away. Everyone there is good, I heard, but they can't see us from all the way up there. Oh, Ember. I love her responses to stuff like that. And Sela's question, we do actually get an answer to, which is really awesome, actually. Soon, if I remember correctly. You said that the angels are twins, but how can angels have siblings? That's a good question. Of course, angels are not born like mortals, so they can't have a mother and a father, or sisters and brothers as we understand them. Angels come into being from reincarnated souls or from the pure essence of the upper planes. Sometimes angels may adopt some features of mortals. For instance, they can identify as male or female, although that is not generally their way. Some of them can also develop bonds of camaraderie or even kinship. But the case of the silver twins is rarer still. There are two angels who emerged from one soul. What else should they call themselves if not twins? The old man smiles, seemingly satisfied with his speech, but within moments his vacant expression is back in place, awareness gone from his eyes. You should go to Defender's Heart. The old custodian gives you a toothless smile. Really? It's safe there? How can I leave the museum? His gaze falls upon the traces of the ransacking. The old man becomes lost in thought as they're trying to find an explanation. You know what happened here, don't you? Thieves, they were prowling, wanted to rob the museum. I stopped them. Those ne'er-do-wells came in here and I gave them, what for? A dose of battle magic. They won't be back. Don't you worry about me. I may be old, but I can still hold my own. All right, I gotta go. The old man's bewildered gaze follows you as you go. And that is the Tower of Estrad. Well, there's still one more thing, but that's like my favorite part is Telden and just kind of learning all of this stuff. It's such a good way to give us more history without like just kind of doing a lore dump, if that makes sense. Like it's a good way, especially if you're new to the Pathfinder universe or anything like that. Like for me, because I mean, I had never really done anything with the Pathfinder universe until I played Kingmaker. And so the fact that they kind of had that too, because if you didn't play Kingmaker, you might know even less. And so it's just a good way to kind of not brush you up, but to kind of give you just an idea of like the severity of certain things that are going on. I really like it. All right. Yeah, here we go, angels. Vision of Targona. Translucent silhouette of a winged female warrior glows softly. You brought us back to waking. Greetings. Who are you? Not who. What? Memories. This place was created as a cradle of memory and fantasy. The things that belonged to the city's heroes were kept here. People used to come to this place, remember those heroes, and myself and the others are living memories. You woke us, so we're here. Lots of things seem silent, only until you care to listen. Like here, someone's memory has awoken to reveal itself to us. Yes, little one, and I have no doubt that the birds and the trees converse with you too, and the trees and flowers and even certain lampposts. And I'm sure this occurs regularly. For me, alas, such wonders only occur after a week-long bacchanalia, and conversations don't go very far. Once again, like, it's so interesting that there are very, very few characters in this game that can be outright mean to Ember. Like, even Ulbrich earlier wasn't mean to Ember. He was still kind in his own way in what he was saying to her. But it's just so funny that, like, they can't, a lot of them can't. They can't poke fun of her in the traditional way, you know? I used to come here when the mood took. The exhibits here are meager, no doubt, and cannot compete with the museums in the capital. But all the same, I find this place to be a calming refuge away from the bustling city. So, your memories of who? Of heroes the city wished to immortalize. Go, touch this memory, see how they remember us. After all, this place was created so that our names would never disappear into the mists of history. I wish I could say that we have not dishonored your memory, but Knabris lies in ruin. But you fearlessly battle the invaders with no thought for yourself. You have earned no censure. We are proud of you. Right. In the olden days, mortal kind lost to demons all the time, or time after time after time, and now their descendants are continuing that losing streak. How could they not be proud of that? He's got a point. He's not wrong. So why did you help me? A soft smile appears on the woman's face. I sensed something in you, as if you're close to me somehow, like we stood shoulder to shoulder once in the face of evil, and that we must do so again. Oh. Well, that's interesting. I sense that light dwells within you. Very recently you were threatened by a powerful demon and dark bloodlust tried to enslave your soul, but you opposed it and held fast. Continue to follow the path of light and other righteous souls will aid you and follow you. That's... Knowing the ending of the game now, this personally I feel like takes on like a whole new meaning to it. By a powerful demon and dark bloodlust tried to enslave your soul, and you opposed it and held fast. Like, I feel like that, in a nutshell, could be the commander's legacy. Everything tries to enslave you in one way or another. Your soul, you physically, all that stuff. And it's just, depending on what kind of commander you are, depends on how you deal with it. And that's actually, it's a really interesting storyline for the commander themselves. Like, this game is crafted so well because you have your commander storyline, but then you have the storyline for everything else. Typically speaking, I've found in most games that like your main character story and the main story are one and the same, or very close and similar. But in this game, it almost feels like they're two separate stories in a lot of ways. Like, yes, you are leading the Crusades and all this other stuff, and yes, you go through a lot of stuff, but what happens to the Crusades and what happens to your character don't necessarily have to line up perfectly. So you're telling the story of you as an individual amongst this overarching storyline, and that, I think, is one of the things that makes this game so very special. Farewell. The power that gives us the semblance of life is running out. Soon will once again be but memories, living only in words, pictures, and songs. So, Vision of the Herald. Knabris burns the city that should never have fallen. Fate shows no mercy. And this is Yanel. We stand shoulder to shoulder with you against evil. And Elandra. Clouds may veil the stars, but nothing can hide. Right. So are these the memories that they were? Farewell to Sarkorian. Elandra, the legendary priestess of Pelura, watches the city of Iz crumble into the freshly opened world wound. More details in the museum almanac. So you could go through if you wanted. I think we did the last time. But instead, what do I have? So Great Garrison as well. Fortify. Right, we already did that. We have to do the Graham family secrets amidst our ranks. Have been killed. Erebeth will be delighted. Cool. So Prelate Hulrin has joined. I feel like... Wait, did we not get the tieflings? Huh. So I guess that's one thing we could do is go get the tieflings for the next thing. That's weird. I thought we had them, but we're so... Oh, wait. Do we have to go all the way around? Okay. If we have to go all the way around, we might as well stop in. Let's see if we can pick up those tieflings for a minute. I know exactly where they are, too. Let's see if I can get there relatively quickly without anything going kaboom. But this is me we're talking about. Something's gonna go kaboom. And it's gonna go kaboom fast, but we don't know what it is yet. Have we done? I think we've done everything else we need to in the city, though. Like, we have Grandma Gretlin. Like, we helped her and the theater next door. Yes, theater next door. Oh, I love the theater next door. I'm so excited for y'all to see that actually come to fruition. Such a good storyline. So much, like, lightheartedness that you kind of need with how heavy the story is. And then, yeah, I think we've picked up all the companions except for, like, a few that you don't pick up just yet. All right, this way. Here they are. Haha. Help! Somebody please save me. The tiefling's voice is hoarse from his repeated fruitless calls for help. Is that you? I'm begging you. Get me out of here, please. Those rats left me here to rot, but you can save me. Hey, is that you? Woljif? Brother, buddy, help me out. Don't leave me to die here. Hey, buddy. I mean, you're happy. Are we gonna help him, right? Yeah, we'll help him. We did a good action and we cleared him. Phew, I'm alive. Actually alive. Thank you. I'll remember your kindness for the rest of my life. The tiefling nods at the cleared rubble. That way leads to the cellar of the Grey Garrison. We stashed a few crates of some real good booze in there. Not going back in there. No way. But if you're crazy enough to do it, take whatever you want. It's yours. Oh. Okay. Well, so long. I'm gonna go get the hell away from these bloody ruins as fast as I can. You should do the same. Thanks again for helping me out. I don't know who we hear talking. I thought you could tell them to join us. Are you supposed to be here earlier for that? Let me see. Yeah, so was I here too late? Is that kind of what that is? Or am I missing something? Because, like, I thought he was supposed to have... Oh, is it because we weren't here early enough so, like, his buddies left him at one point and that's why... Oh, that's really cool. Okay. Cool. So at least we freed him. It didn't really work out the way that I wanted to. But, we can go get Camellia now. Because I actually think now we're not too far from the Guam family mansion. So we'll probably go get Camellia. Or, like, when we get out to the main, thing. We'll go snag her main map. That's what I wanted to say. And then we'll go do that quest quickly. Is that it-ish? Ish, yeah. That's crazy. And then we'll be on to the Grey Garrison, which should be something. That, I remember getting heckin' lost. I don't know why I got so lost the last time we did this, but I did. So, should be fine now. Camellia can do locks. So we're just gonna let her handle that for us. All right, Camellia, are you ready to go home? Ish. Evade. All right, wait, am I right though? Before we... Common cause. Yeah, that's done. Notes for the storyteller. Right, we don't have those. That we have to wait on. Nenio's thing, I still have... We're gonna do Nenio. I'm sure we're gonna do it. I'm gonna do it begrudgingly. Like, just because there's a lot to Nenio's quest. But I do think that the story is important. So we'll probably do it. It's gonna take a few days of recording, though. But it'll be worth it. And then we've got to do... So we're gonna do this and then tell Arabeth about this. And then it's... I think we're good. Like, I literally think that that's it. It's time to go. All right. Then let's do this.